To me, it doesn't matter that it's still 85 degrees outside. Tomorrow, September 1st, so it's sopita season. Tonight, we're making una sopita de pollo. Let me show you how I do it. In here, I have a whole chicken that my mother chopped up and took the skin off of. I changed pots because I definitely needed a bigger one. All the chicken in here has the bone on it still. That's important when making a chicken broth because you need all that flavor from the bone marrow, you know? So always with the bone on for this part. In here, I'm putting about a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, some pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some Italian seasoning. I'm also gonna put in 1 large carrot, but I only had 2 small ones, so I'm gonna put that in there. Celery, this is just 1 whole celery heart, some green onion, a whole white onion, yellow onion, and lots of fresh garlic. If you have a bay leaf, you could also throw a bay leaf in there if you want to. So I just added very little salt. Even though I'm gonna use this today, I'm gonna use all of it for my soup. There are times where I'll make the broth and just set aside and freeze some of the broth. So you want to take it easy on the salt with this part because you can take this broth and you could use it for so many different things. I'm gonna let this bubble away on my stove uncovered. This part right here is only gonna take about 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so my broth is done. I'm gonna take everything out and just put it in a bowl. I'm gonna let all of this cool off because I'm gonna shred all the chicken off the bone. I'm gonna take a strainer like this that has really small, I use this for my rice, you know. I wanna make sure that I get out any little bones or anything like that that might have come off the chicken while it was cooking. Also, just a disclaimer, be very, very careful when doing what I just did when straining the liquid. If you're a little less experienced than I am, just make sure that you wait till it cools down because that is essentially boiling hot water. And if you get any of that on you, it's gonna burn and it's gonna hurt. So just be careful. I don't want any of you guys to get burned, all right? I like to take the carrots and the celery that boiled with the chicken and I like to chop it up because I'll put it in the soup and it'll dissolve. And what it does is just adds extra nutrition. My family is not big on vegetables, especially carrots and celery, but they're so good for you. I'll even take a couple of the garlic cloves and do the same thing and put it all in there, you know? Because the garlic cloves are just, they just mash. Let's start building our soup. Put a little tiny drizzle of avocado oil down, some fresh carrots and celery. I'm gonna throw that in. Like I said, I'm making a sopita. So we're going in with a nice big tablespoon of sofrito, maybe a little bit more. So about a tablespoon and a half. I'm gonna put that celery, garlic, and carrots that I just chopped up. A little bit of salt on your veggies, little black pepper. Then I'm gonna put my chicken in. We're gonna put in a little garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning, and some adobo. And to give it a little bit of color, I'm gonna put in some paprika. You could also put in a packet of sazon if you want to. Now we're gonna slowly pour back in our liquid. And I'm gonna let this come up to a boil. Because I'm gonna add some potatoes and some pasta and stuff in here, I'm gonna add just a little bit more water. Give it a taste to see if it needs any more salt before I put my pasta in. That is so delicious, but she does need a little more salt. Remember that your pasta and your potatoes are going to absorb some of that salt, so you want to make sure you give it good flavor, okay? Basically, at this point, this is to your liking, okay? You're going to taste it, and you're going to add anything that you want to add to it, because it's your soup. You can make it as salty and as flavorful as you like to make it. I almost forgot I like to add some oregano. Now, if you're going to freeze it and you're a stickler for the texture of your pasta, I would suggest freezing it now at this point, before you add in any potatoes, before you add in the pasta. I really don't care. I freeze it with all that stuff in it. It doesn't bother me at all. When I say pasta, I mean your fideos, you know? That is delicious. I'm using this protein thin spaghetti, and we're just going to break it up. You can also just get regular fideos from the grocery store. You can get regular thin spaghetti. I'm getting spaghetti all over my kitchen. Almost forgot, I'm also going to throw my potatoes in there because I like the corn. I'm actually going to throw in a couple pieces of corn on the cob. Now we're just going to basically wait for our potatoes to get nice and soft and for our pasta to cook, which the pasta is going to cook really quickly because it's thin. This is so hot and all I want to do is dig into it. So I'm gonna. This is about to comfort every part of my soul. I just know it. I just can't let it burn my tongue. Yep. Yep. This is childhood, y'all. This is healing. And I'm actually not even going to try to take a bite of that corn right now. I'm going to take it out and let it cool down for a little bit. But sopita corn is superior. Me and my sister-in-law were just talking about that the other day. Sopita corn is the best corn, okay? Make this, keep a big batch of it in your freezer, and it'll be good all fall and winter long.